bringing a puppy into the home is growing your family, right? No one wants to fail as a puppy parent. Here to help us be successful is Geralynn Cada, Icon Award-winning pet trainer and pet product expert. So this is Scout. Thank you for being here, first off.
Thank you for having me, and what a joy.
This is our little boy Scout, and in resemblance of much of our audience this morning, he is asleep. But he's had quite the day today. So this is Scout. He's been with us for a week. And I want to ask some questions about first-time puppy parents, because I've had a puppy, but it's been 30 years ago, right?
Right.
So how many times should I be feeding him now that he's been in our family for a week?
So it's really a great question, because puppies eat differently than adult dogs or senior dogs or even adolescent dogs. So they're going to eat 4 times a day.
4 times a day?
Yes,
okay.
And they're doing that because we want to keep their tummies are tiny.
Yeah.
And we want to keep their blood sugar level consistent, because we are going to do about 4 training sessions a day as well for like the best puppy ever. So.
And we bought him from a reputable breeder and did our research on him, so we know he wasn't coming from like a puppy mill or anything. Here, do you want to hold him? Here, she wants to hold him.
I
All right, there you go.
Oh, thank you.
Should we be
not having this in my hand?
should we be changing his diet right away when we get him home? Because the breeder sent us home with food, so I want to make sure I'm feeding him the right food, right?
So yes, and so don't change right away. We'll do a little research, and we're going to do a follow-up from today's show on how Scout progresses. However, we're going to stick with what he has right now, because we don't want to change too much too fast. And that's a mistake people make with a puppy. They change their routine like immediately. We want to get him into a really solid routine right away, and also then slowly start making changes so he doesn't have an upset tummy.
Okay.
Because the worst thing to clean up is a mess, right?
Well,
so we
yes.
can proactively try to limit the amount of messes we have to clean up. That helps.
Yeah.
Another huge thing is that there's a sleep aspect and there's a chewing aspect.
Yeah, and I want to get to those. How long should he be sleeping? Because this dog sleeps more than any dog I have ever met, which I'm not complaining about, but he sleeps a lot.
Well, they should sleep a lot because they're growing a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a 10-to-1 rule that if you go to just Google me, you'll find my 10-to-1 rule blog about how dogs live about 10 days to our 1 day.
Oh, wow.
So that means that he needs a lot of sleep while he grows, especially. And if we rob our dogs of really good sleep during the day, we're actually shortening their life.
Really?
Oh, he's already snoring. Oh my God. I can feel him snoring on my hand. This is adorable. Anyway, so they're going to sleep about 4 good naps a day. So about 14 to sometimes 20 hours, you're going to go, what's wrong with my dog? Is he not okay? Well, he's actually going through a huge growth spurt at that time.
He's obviously growing right now.
Yes,
so.
and there will be times he will sleep a lot, and other times he won't sleep a lot, and times he'll eat more, and times he'll eat less.
So how can I use this information to help with potty training? Because that's one of the things, we rescued our last dog, so potty training wasn't something we had to worry about.
Right.
But obviously he's brand new. We're working on it.
So you time that around their meals.
Yes.
That's the best time. And also, I like to crate train, because dogs need a cave they can back up into and actually take a nap with both eyes closed instead of just one eye closed, which means one eye's open.
Okay.
So they're not really sleeping fully.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is to have a place they can go sleep, and I utilize that as in, I'll give them their meal, I'll put them in the kennel for a set amount of time with a timer, and then I take them straight out to the bathroom. That way I give them a chance for their stomach to start digesting, their peristaltic action to start, and then on top of that, getting them out to the bathroom right away, and then using a marker word or a word that's like, if you're from the East Coast, they say, hey, let's go make. And so that becomes a trigger, and then you can actually train your dog to go on command.
Oh, beautiful.
Which when you travel a lot like I do,
it's perfect,
it's the perfect thing for me when I travel around with dogs.
Now, one of the quick things, we get a puppy, we want to go out and get it things, right?
Yes.
So if a product says 4 dogs, does that necessarily mean it's good for my puppy?
Right, not necessarily. So
Okay.
make sure you check that out, because puppies don't have an immune system till a full immune system, and I like to be safe and say 5 months, but let's just say 4.
Okay.
And some people say 3, but you don't want to give them anything their immune system isn't ready for yet.
Yeah, and real quick about vaccinations too. I want to be, we were told, I never heard this before, but until your dog gets fully vaccinated, you shouldn't have it around other dogs?
You really shouldn't, because you don't know what's going on. However, I'm very careful about vaccinations, because there are some vaccinations that are fine. Others I like to check out what is in the vaccination before I go taking my dog to the vet and getting that vaccination. But more importantly, I do titer testing to make sure my dog doesn't need the booster shot when it's not necessary.
All right.
So there's much to discuss about future. Oh, he woke up.
There's a lot to know. Well, Scout's woke up for a second. He's going to probably go back to sleep here pretty quick and sleep the rest of the show, but that's fine. I wouldn't expect anything less from a child of mine. All right, we're done.
Thank you.
Geralynn, thank you for your time. Belinda.